Supreme Court of India has stayed the Sedition Law while testing the constitutionality of Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code. This after the government promised to re-examine and reconsider the provisions of this law which deals with the offence of sedition. Now, almost after a year of the hearing, the Sedition Law has been temporarily suspended till July, putting a hold on all the pending and future cases related to it. So what is Sedition Law? Under IPC Section 124A, sedition is defined as whoever by words either spoken or written or by signs or by visible representation or otherwise brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which fine may be added. So what are the origins of this law? Where did it come from? Section 124A, that is the Sedition Law, is a colonial era law drafted in 1837 by British historian politician Thomas Babington Macaulay. This law came in handy for the British Raj to put a stop to the growing voices of India's freedom fighters against the Britishers. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the first person to be convicted of sedition in colonial India over articles carried in his Marathi newspaper, Kesari, that allegedly encouraged people to foil the British government's efforts at curbing the plague epidemic in India. Here are some interesting facts that you must know about sedition law. Sedition in India is a non-bailable offence, punishable with imprisonment from 3 years up to life and a fine. If a person is charged with sedition in India, they are barred from all kinds of government jobs. Their passport is also seized by the government. The very people who brought this into our country, the Britishers, abolished this controversial law in the United Kingdom way back in 2010. Many prominent freedom fighters of our country, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Abul Kalam Azad, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, they were all charged with sedition during the British Raj. Author Arundhati Roy was charged with sedition for her controversial remarks on Kashmir. Environmental activist Disha Ravi faced sedition charges for sharing a toolkit for a global online campaign supporting the farmers' protest against the centre's 3 farm laws. Umar Khalid, Sharjit Imam, Devangana Kalita, Natasha Narwal, Asif Iqbal Tanha, Gul Fisha Khatun, Ishrat Jahan, Safura Zargar, and Miran Haider. These are all the names that were booked under sedition over the Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act CAA protest for allegedly conspiring the Delhi 2020 riots. These were just some of the recent cases of sedition law. What are the arguments against the sedition law? Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana had said that sedition law was prone to misuse by the government. Supreme Court in Romesh Thappar vs. State of Madras said that criticism of the government exciting disaffection or bad feelings towards it is not to be regarded as a justifying ground for restricting the freedom of expression and of the press, unless it is such as to undermine the security of or tend to overthrow the state. But what do the supporters of sedition law say? Supporters of IPC Section 124A argue that the sedition law does have utility in fighting off anti-national and terror elements in the country. It also has the power to protect the elected government from attempts to illegally overthrow it through violence.